Let's go to Noah Fleischman, who joins us now. He is with the Wolfpacker and On 3. And Noah, how are you, sir?
Doing well. How are you guys doing?
Well, fantastic. I appreciate you taking the time. Let's go ahead and dive into this NC State Tennessee game. And when I visit with opposing beat reporters, I always just like to kind of open it up to you, how you see this game. I have some specific questions I want to ask, but just how do you see this game shaping up as we head into the Duke's Mayo Classic? By the way, do you like mayonnaise?
No, they played in a better bowl game in December. They played in the Pop-Tarts Bowl, which I enjoyed that one. A lot of free Pop-Tarts everywhere. I'm not going to partake in the free mayo this weekend.
All right. So, Noah, how do you see this game shaping up? Lots of mayo.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big game for both teams. Obviously, it's kind of billed as that, going in, first test for both teams, first FBS game of the year for both teams. But I think, NC State a week ago came out really slow, and everyone saw that, and they were losing going into the fourth quarter against Western Carolina. Not obviously the showing they wanted, but I do think this is a game that NC State will get up for. They were looking ahead, I think, last week, and this is a time where they can turn it around. We'll see what they can do. I do believe this game will be a one-score game either way. I think the line is right. It keeps going up. It's around 7 or 8 right now. I think that is accurate. I don't think this will be a 20-point win for either team or a 20-point loss for either team going in.
No, for those that don't know, tell me the story of Grayson McCall and why he's a good fit at NC State.
Yeah, Grayson McCall is a guy who dominated at Coastal Carolina for 5 years. He started there 4 years in a row, was the first 3-time Sun Belt Player of the Year. He played really well there. He came into the season with 88 career touchdowns, only 14 career interceptions, 10,000 passing yards. He's an experienced guy, won't get rattled by any team. He's seen basically every defense in college football. And he's a guy who they brought in to kind of be a point guard. He doesn't need to be an elite quarterback. They just need him to be able to get it out to elite playmakers, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a second. But overall, he's a guy that they were looking for in the portal, a quarterback that could take care of the football. And in his career, he's done just that.
Noah, NC State, from what I watched, runs a lot of horizontal plays offensively. It seems like they like to work the sidelines with their run plays. Last week, I'm with you. I having watched that, it seemed like they were messing around for 3 quarters, and then they turned it on and scored 3 touchdowns in the fourth. But my question to you would be, in terms of like the physicality and in the trenches, is there any concern there, given the fact that I know that they weren't able to convert a couple of 4th and 1s last week, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, their run blocking was not great a week ago. Their pass blocking was fine. I think that won't be a problem this week. I mean, they pass blocked exceptionally well. McCall was sacked once, and it was in a play. He was scrambling around and running around a little bit. So I think that's not a problem. The run blocking was a little suspect. Dave Doran, NC State's head coach, talked about, the reason why. Kind of part of it was one guy just not doing his job. They converted an offensive lineman into a blocking tight end, and Matt McCabe, a former walk-on. He had, a little bit of struggles in his first game at that spot, but they're expecting him to grow. And outside of that, the running backs kind of were a little impatient, trying to force things a little bit, which didn't lead to anything. But in the fourth quarter, they averaged 12 yards a carry, and they really turned it on. So we'll see if they can carry that part instead of the averaging 3 yards a carry that they did for the first 3.
What are all the ways you guys can use Kevin Concepcion? He had 9 catches for 100, or that NC State can use Kevin Concepcion. He had 9 catches for 121 yards and 3 touchdowns last week. He seems more like a slot guy, though, right? He's not like the receiver that dictates coverage on the outside. Do they usually work him through the middle of the field a lot more?
Do. They can put him anywhere on the field, though. I mean, last year there was games he was lining up as a running back. He had taken wildcat snaps. Last year he scored a touchdown as a receiver, as a running back, or as a receiver, and as he has a passing touchdown too as a freshman. The ACC Rookie of the Year a year ago, but he's a guy that works over the middle a bunch. He finds space a lot and is really good in space. And once he gets out there and he gets moving, not a lot of people can catch up to him. And he's a guy that most defenses can't play one-on-one. If you play him one-on-one, he'll find a way to get open and make a team hurt. He has, they talk about 121 yards, 3 touchdowns. In his last 2 regular season games, he's the only player in the ACC that has put up those numbers in back-to-back games. So we'll see what he can do. But he's a guy who's explosive, and they'll find ways to get him the ball, whether it's a pop pass, a handoff, finding him over the middle. They find ways to get him the ball.
No, tell people how to follow your work, and then I want to ask about that NC State defense.
Yeah, you can follow it. You can find it at wolfpacker.com. We have all the coverage of NC State football and men's and women's basketball primarily. It's part of the On3 network.
Okay. Want to ask you about the defense, in particular the secondary. It's a pretty veteran group. There's some transfers there. Let's talk about how they put together the secondary that Nico Iamaleava is going to see on Saturday.
Yeah, it's a veteran group for the most part. Aiden White is their top corner. He's a senior. He's a guy who had NFL draft stock last year, decided to turn that down and come back for one more year. He flirted with the transfer portal for like 2 weeks and then took his name out and came back. Over the top, their safeties, Donovan Kaufman's an Auburn transfer. They brought him in after spring practice. He's played well. He's kind of a hard-hitting free safety. They're playing Bishop Fitzgerald, one of the top JUCO recruits from 2 years ago. At free safety at the moment, they're starting free safety. Devin Boykin is recovering from an ACL tear. He will miss the month of September as he still works his way back. And then the spot that makes this game interesting is Jahad Carter will make his NC State debut. Starting nickelback, transferred from Ohio State, was previously at Syracuse as well, where he's an all-ACC player. They're really excited about him. And a week ago, the nickel position was really weak. They played Tamarcus Cooley, a transfer from Maryland, but he's just young. He hasn't played a lot of football, and it didn't go well. They're expecting Carter to step up in the slot, and they're going to need him to against this Tennessee offense.
Noah, how hopeful are NC State fans of this? Because, I've been covering a lot of conference realignment over the years, and I know the SEC wants to get into the North Carolina and Virginia markets. You would assume that UNC may be their top choice, but I think UNC can end up in the Big Ten. Is there hope among NC State fans that maybe one day that they'll land in the SEC because of that?
I think so, but a lot of NC State fans are just very purist, and being a founding member of the ACC is kind of part of that, and they like to be in the ACC. They love the ACC, but if the ACC were to go away at any point, I definitely think the SEC is the spot they would have rather land in over the Big 12. I don't think the Big 10 would take them, but they'd probably rather the SEC over the Big 12.
Noah, tell me what you think about NC State's defensive front.
They're good. They didn't get a lot of leverage in the first half. It was weird. They didn't get a lot of pressure in the backfield. They were but Western Carolina was able to really use quick passing, get the ball out quick, not a lot of time to get pressure. They were able to get pressure late. Davin Vann is their leader on the defensive end. You look at the middle, Junior is at nose tackle and Brandon Cleveland, and then Torelli Price, a guy they're really high on the other side. They play a 3-3-5 defense, so they generate pressure from all over the field. The defensive line kind of had some struggle. This isn't a place where you're going to see a guy get 8-10 sacks in a season. Last year, Red Hibbler, who's their third down pass rusher, he led the team with 6.5. So we'll see what they can do with it. They rely on the linebackers a lot to help clean up in the run game, just having 3 guys in the front.
Noah, great stuff as always. Again, the Wolfpacker on 3. And what's your Twitter handle? That's where I found you.
Yeah, you can find me at Fleischman_Noah.
Yeah, I'm not stalking you. I just want to get you on the show. I promise. No, enjoy the weekend. If you're going to the game, and enjoy the game and keep up the great coverage. We appreciate you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.